Sci-fi brony. That'll never get old.
It's so good. It's dramatic as fuck. I have to listen to the intro and the outro when I do the editing 17 times because it's so much fun. And this, I experimented with something last week just to dive straight in. I jacked up the audio on the outro just for my bit, right? I don't know if I made it too loud. So let me know if it's too loud, everybody.
I love that you're like cluing into the hats. It is a hat day.
The hat day.
We have had the craziest week. And it all came today. Like we just had to go with the flow a bit. So thanks for going with us and like letting us be a little late. We are no showers.
No showers. We are stanky
so
people.
That's part of why we're just hat people. I even put glitter on.
She's got a little glitter. So did I.
You did not.
I'm excited. I'm wearing my Back to the Future hat, which I will be wearing tomorrow when we go to see Back to the Future in the movie.
Okay, so Link, it didn't happen yet. Ian didn't go to the movie theater because the movie theater only had one showing of the 40th anniversary.
That I could see.
Then they added another showing, and then they added another showing. And so now we're going to try to go together tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to get to see it together, which is so much fun. I have booked these tickets 3 times now.
Showers are definitely overrated in tomorrow. Yes. So I'm going to try to go with, which is what his hat is. His hat is from Back to the Future. My hat is one that Iris picked out for me. I would have never picked it for myself. And now it's one of my favorite hats, even though the dogs have chewed up the back of it.
Yeah, the dicks. The absolute assholes. Yeah.
Why not go to all 3 of them? That's a great question.
Fair. Absolutely fair. I should have done.
You should have done.
But it would have impacted our party yesterday.
We decided to have a Halloween party this year. We've been working so hard to make it a fun event for like Iris's friends coming over, and obviously their siblings of her friends and parents obviously coming, and then a neighborhood walk around to have like all the kids be able to go and trick or treat together. And that was really special, but it's been a lot of work, and our little 3D printer has just been
non-stop
for 2 months printing silly little spooky decorations. And it's like, well, we can make another ghost, or why don't we 3D print Happy Halloween, do like individual letters. So all of the creative ideas of 2 very creative people. The problem when you have a 3D printer is that all of your dreams can come true.
They really can. And of course, yesterday, all of the parents, there were 8 of us huddled into the replicator lab, just watching it print something, and, like, explaining all of it. And yeah,
let me see if I can pull up a picture for you guys, Polly. That's a great idea. I'll do that while Ian shows off his newest 3D printed item.
This is actually recommended, I think, by Paulie. I think you shared a picture of it. And this is the NASA fabric, which I adore. It is so satisfying, and it's just ridiculous how this has been 3D printed, and now it's this wobbly liquid thing. I feel like this is what Argus is made out of, but completely black. And then it just droops, and I can wear it as an amazing hat. Now I have a hat on a hat. Did you let the dogs in?
I mean, I don't know why they're freaking out upstairs.
Yeah, Reese's is freaking out.
Yeah.
Should I go find him?
Yeah, you should go find him.
Tis hatception.
So
Sci-fi chain mail. It is. Okay. I'll fix the dogs. I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going. The dogs. They do what dogs do, and they want to make sure that we're protected. Oh my God, that was entirely unnecessary, sir. We hope you guys had a safe and happy Halloween. We had a wonderful Halloween. It was a lot. I'm getting the picture ready right now to show you guys. But really, and I said this on Discord, thank you for being so patient with us, because we do have to change plans from time to time. And because of all that's been going on, we had to not only scoot the day to today, but then we had to scoot the start time multiple times. So I appreciate your patience. It always feels strange. It's like, we don't want to let people down, and we don't want to do it out of order and blah, blah, blah. So thank you for doing that. It's kind of become a bit of a joke. Because we yell upstairs to the dogs, and then it's louder and louder. I'll let Ian know that was too much. Ian, that was too much. Yeah. It's too much. Of course they did.
Really? Then it was too loud for their ears?
You yelled right here.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. It was a lot. Oh, that could totally be a sash. Absolutely.
Oh,
that could totally be a sash.
Oh my gosh, you could absolutely. That is Worf's sash. Actually, no, that side might be better. Oh my, yes.
You've just blown his mind.
This is the perfect material.
All right, here's us yesterday. As you can see, we had a little Pikachu. I was an Eevee, and Ian was an Ash.
Ash Ketchum, let's go.
So that was our day yesterday. He 3D printed the Halloween bucket. So there you go. That was us.
It was a good day.
It was a really fun day, and everybody who can fix our little screen.
I love that hat so much. I really, really do.
Oh, thanks, guys.
That hat is awesome.
It was really funny too, because when we went on the walkabout, which I think is actually like a saying for people who live in Australia, a walkabout. Is that something?
A walkabout is in England as well.
Is it? Is that just where you go on a walk?
Yeah, a little walkabout. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on a walkabout.
The fun thing was that like Iris saw other Pikachus.
Yes.
And then Iris saw there was other Eevees, but they're like, Eevee. I didn't expect anybody to know what I was. So that was exciting. And then of course people knew what Ian was. So it was just he's a very bearded Ash.
Yeah.
And
I kind of was tempted to shave, but I don't think they'll allow that.
And then Iris saw another Pikachu on the route, and they stopped and they like held each other and like were excited. Like, sweet. Pikachu! One of the other kids was a squirrel who saw another squirrel, and then they like united. They crossed the street. Like, we're squirrels.
I think one of them was a chipmunk.
Shut up. You're not supposed to point that stuff out.
Sorry.
Let the children be children.
I was the party pooper. I sinned their meetup. I was like, you are a chipmunk, not a squirrel.
We miss you too, Sarah. Like a bunch.
Yeah.
We think about you all the time.
There's a winner for the three.
It was like a regular squirrel, like not the Pokemon.
Yeah, not Pokemon. No. Squirtle isn't a squirrel; it's a tortoise wandering. There is a winner for the 3D print of the season.
This one I found.
Yeah, Danae found this.
Okay, so the idea, I couldn't believe it, but you literally pluck the toes off, and then you put it onto the tic-tac-toe board.
Wait, I'm doing it backwards.
Yeah, you can't see what you're doing. You dressed up as a tired girl and no one saw you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it is magnetic. So it's wild. The little toes pause, the print pauses, and you insert the magnet so that it connects down to the toes in the grass. And then it pauses the back, why can't I think of what it's called? A headstone. And then you put the magnets in there as well.
It's ridiculous. It's incredible.
Isn't that cool?
And if you want to,
if it becomes a little too much because the grass is too high, you can remove that, and then you play tic-tac-toe.
And you just put the toes back on.
Hey, Dave. Oh, glad to see you. It's good to see you.
Oh, shit, I've lost my toes.
It's so uncomfortable too, because like when you pull the toes off, there's like a little bit of resistance from the magnet.
Just enough.
Just enough to make it awkward. And then there's like the pinky toe is like
so small.
It's so small and dainty. So the idea for the party, and this all of it just kind of developed. Every day we were like, well, we can try to do this. We can try to print this. We can try to do this. And around the table were 4 different 3D printed games that as people were sitting at the table, they could enjoy. And they enjoyed them all. We have a Connect 4 game that's built out of spirals. And so when you drop the piece in, it's like a round ball that's like got spirals in it, and it spirals down. It's a very satisfying sound. But the spirals go one direction for one of your sides, and then like the other color goes in a different direction. So when you pick up the board, and usually the Connect 4 pieces all come together in one big jubbly mess, it auto sorts it based on the rotation.
That was a really fun print. My favorite part about that is it would be the prestige of the magic trick. It would be the big reveal. Yeah. And the adults would be like, oh yeah, wait, how did it do that? They would like the feign excitement would go immediately into genuinely impressed.
Wait, how did that happen? So that was a fun one the adults really loved.
Yeah.
We also have a a very tactile game where it's a like a maze puzzle, but it's a cylinder, and you put one cylinder into the next cylinder by twisting it to move it through the maze, and you can't really like use your eyes because it's invisible.
Yes, you can.
So you have to like use your instincts and kind of move it around, and then that cylinder goes into a cylinder, a bigger one, and then that goes into a bigger cylinder. So it's like a multi-piece puzzle. That was really fun as well. And then what was another one we had? Oh, we tilted Tetris.
Yeah,
it's on a half circle. And so like you roll a dice, you pick up a Tetris piece and you place it on the board and it begins to tilt back and forth, sort of like a Jenga situation. Yeah. We had the tic-tac-toe. And what was the last one? We had 4. Was that 4?
No, we had 3 games.
There was the
puzzle, tic-tac-toe, Connect 4, and Tetris Tumble. Yeah.
So
balance Tetris.
It was really, really fun. It's really, really cool, Link. And the print turned out really, really well. So definitely, if you've got a 3D printer, it's definitely one to try out.
Okay, wait a second. How many toes have you got?
Toe checkers?
I think we need more toes. We need multiple feet. And the important question that Sarah asks is, whose toes were used as a guide?
Yes.
We do not know.
We don't know.
We don't know, but they're very accurate.
They're really accurate. They're a bit uncomfortable. That's the big toe.
We could
it's the little toe. The little toe is just so uncomfortably perfect. But anyway, we had people over, and we had the house to maintain and the house to clean and all of these different things going on. And then today we got to sleep in a little bit. And then unexpected company coming over to the house. And so thank you guys again for your patience. And now that the party is over, we can get back to the most important thing, which is 3D printing these to get them ready for you guys. If you want to have your own, then they won't be this big. We made a huge one.
Yeah, we're gonna make
as a test.
Smaller.
So we're gonna start working on these, so you guys can order some of those. And we have hats today because like under here, it's just.
You will not see mine. You will not see my. No,
do it.
My pike quiff will not be exposed.
Oh, it's a lot, guys.
No, it's a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna do the little derpy prizes. We want to do a couple more print tests on them, but yeah, we think this is pretty much.
It's pretty close.
Got that like
see if we can add some more details.
Shiny model. Yeah, I want to put like Spock's brain right here.
Nope.
No. Speaking of, we're going to get started on the show today. We have a hard out today. So a wild show approacheth. Well, we're going to try to stay focused and jump in, get our thoughts out, get the show recorded for you guys so that the podcasters can enjoy it. We continue to just have such an amazing turnout for this show. Not just the live show, which of course we love that you guys are here and that we get to do a live show part of the podcast for you to enjoy, but the podcast itself, it's just so cool. So it's evident that you're sharing us with your friends, and we really appreciate that. So whether you're joining us live or watching this later on YouTube or on Twitch, we really appreciate that you're hanging out with us.
Yeah, we do.
And your feedback not only influences the live show, it influences the show in general. Comments, your suggestions, your emails. It's really, really amazing. And we feel very humbled and excited to be a part of the community. I continue to be just amazed by all of you. We come to the creative table every week because we enjoy talking about Star Trek together. And there's a genuine curiosity about it. But honestly, it's you guys. It's okay, we get to go to the show today. Yeah. So when we pushed back the show a couple times today, it really we're we hate to disappoint you. So again, thank you for your patience.
Yeah, and thank you for showing up on a Saturday after multiple delays.
Wait, there's a podcast.
Rumor has it. Yeah.
Okay, super quick. We'll answer this question and then we'll get into the show. The dogs were put away because there's too many people in the house.
Oh yeah.
But we do have costumes for them. One of them has a little thing I can wrap around them that gives them some wings, like little devil wings, and the other one's an astronaut. So I'm not sure,
of course.
But I should try to take a picture.
Go Slab, go do your thing. we will miss you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming by. Oh, and also I got your message on Discord, and I'll message you back. I appreciate that. And yes, we will be adding you as one of our Discord administrators, because sorry about the bot that dropped into our Discord.
Yeah, we had our first bot. It's like a little rite of passage. But yeah, I'm going to sort out the mods this evening once people are in bed and I have a spare minute to do the thing.
So let's jump into the show today. We're obviously going to be covering an episode of Star Trek as we continue our WTF series for the Captain's Pod podcast. And we have some fun suggestions coming in for not only next week's episode, but still voting on the following week. So we'll get to all that during the show. This is an R-rated show.
Back.
We broadcast in 2 places at the same time on the Twitch, which is at Danae Says. That's where the audience lives if you want to join on Twitch. And then we also go live onto YouTube. You can watch in either location. If you want to watch the episodes after 2 weeks, you definitely have to find them on YouTube. And if you want to watch our old episodes on YouTube, you can still find those on the CinemaSins Podcast Network YouTube channel, which I think is like at CinemaSins Podcast Network. I'm pretty sure you can just find that.
Yeah, don't type in CSPN because you'll get C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
So, without any further delay, let's jump into the show today. We are going to talk to each other about the show, like the episode that we're reviewing, and we don't talk to you. I'm telling that to myself because I break this rule every fucking week.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's great.
You guys say the great shit, and I just want to include it because it just feels like such an important thing.
Yeah.
So, we do talk about your comments, aka steal your comments during the show ever so slightly sometimes, but it's because you have really interesting facts and feedback, and maybe you were not prepared because we just fucking watched it. So we ran downstairs, had a little snack, ran downstairs. So.
Comments like, do we get to see Ian's hair in the X-rated version?
Oh.
Ian's hair after dark.
Are you going to do it?
It's too much for the X-rated version.
We will come back just for a brief moment at the end. But like I said, today we have a hard out. So when the podcast recording ends, it's very likely we'll just have to say goodbye and not be able to go over your comments and final things. We may even have to skip a segment of the show today. We're not sure. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's effing go. Woo!
Sorry. Oh my God.
Wow, the great start.
Wow.
Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the food dispenser unit, whatever they have on TOS. Every time I should know this, and share our immediate thoughts and feelings, assuming we have a brain with which to think and feel on the episode we just watched together. Most important thing first, what would you like to consume from the replicator other than some much needed feminism?
Oh, I would like to print the rules about the Prime Directive today.
That might be the sexiest thing you've ever said.
Really?
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
That is and I don't mean that in a patronizing
way. You're not. Like, you're serious right now.
I mean it because it is a outstanding point, Ambassador. It's a valid point. I will print all of the supplementary addendums to the Prime Directive that have come since this episode and Kirk's logs. Super quick sidebar. I've started listening to the Khan audio series finally.
Oh, yes.
And I love this because it takes to task everything that's basically wrong with the episode and the movie that it's based on. And part of it is like, why did Kirk fuck this up so much? Like, the point of view of the audio drama is from somebody that is basically like taking issue with Kirk's logs. So I love this. There is clearly stuff that Kirk needs to be put in prison
I have
for.
questions.
Give us a synopsis. If that's even possible.
Okay. I'm going to try to
Surmise and summarize. I think both could be applicable.
In today's episode, an alien invades the Enterprise ship and incapacitates the entire ship and performs a highly advanced surgery onto clearly the most intellectual person on the planet, Spock, or on the ship, Spock.
Mm-hmm.
They come back too, and they discover that Spock is in sickbay without an important organ. His brain.
Skin. Sorry. That would have been incredible.
Oh, no.
They stole his skin. Sorry.
They
continue.
need to find it. So they follow an ion trail into this primitive planet where they discover a secret society of women in control, but not really. Super dumbed down women in quote unquote control, who have to use the brain to power their world. Those like a little battery.
Pesky women folk.
How are they going to get the brain back? How are they going to fix Spock? A lot of bullshit. And that's today's episode.
That is one of your best synopsises.
Thank you so
much. For anybody that appreciates the rhythm of the show, I am following an instinct to not ask your overall thoughts and feelings, Danae. I just want to dive straight in to your predictions.
Okay, and I had a prediction during. It's so hard because I do my live notes, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to happen," and then like once it kind of reveals itself, and one of he was a battery, and I did predict that in
you did
in my note taking
Good
too.
job.
So that was kind of I was like, "Oh, he's going to be a battery," which he essentially was. But go ahead.
I love that we have timestamps for your predictions in the Discord. So this is we are finally recording her ability to predict.
Yes, it's not that hard. It's pretty telegraphed, I think.
I think that's fair. Your predictions were Spock's brain walks around on little legs. And
that is not true.
It's not necessarily a prediction.
You are exaggerating. I said Spock's brain reminds me of the brain from Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't say I was predicting that his brain would grow little feet.
because I locked that in because of the beauty that the exact opposite happens. Spock walks around without a brain. And I love that so much. And I wish they'd done that. Your actual prediction was there's an opportunity to explore half human, half brain, and explore the Vulcan half more so. And if the Vulcan brain goes crazy and the crazy tendencies, none of that
happened.
And your final prediction was brain probe by aliens to get secrets and information.
Kind of, but not really.
But not really.
No,
but this is a hard one to predict because it's so fucking basic. It's so basic and yet ridiculous, all wrapped up at once.
It's like it's so simple you don't believe it. This episode is literally someone steals Spock's brain.
That's it.
And it's like a D&D like one shot. You have to go find it.
Yes.
And you have 24 hours to do so.
This is your ticking clock. This is your task. Go and do it. Don't worry that it's absolutely ridiculous. So before we get into it, what was the moment that you
what the fuck moment?
Yeah, what was your what the fuck moment?
What the fun?
Did it happen? And when was it? Because I have two, and you know when one of them was because I died laughing.
There are so many in this. This is. I am so happy. You said you don't want my overall.
Actually, no, I want it because you're smiling.
It was so stupid. I loved it. It was so stupid. I loved it so much.
Amazing.
It's kind of like one of those things you kind of have to go, they swung for it. And I don't know. There is something about really like B sci-fi.
Yeah. B movie
like,
sci-fi.
Yeah. It has like a super special place in my heart. And this is entirely personal, but I have the fondest memories. I'm tearing up thinking about it, of watching like Flash Gordon and Kroll with my dad. And they're just like these really silly sci-fi. And this like TOS sort of hits that in general, but this one hits it big for me because it's like there's just so many moments when you're just watching it going like they're just doing it, and I can't not have a good time, even though it's so ridiculous. I love it.
So the cast notoriously hated this episode. Leonard Nimoy hated recording it. He felt stupid. They don't look back with any kind of love on this episode.
Oh, but it's like a quintessential B sci-fi.
But they commit to it. Everybody is in this episode. Nobody is outside of their character. Everyone is. If they hate what they're doing, they don't let on.
It's like if you watch this and you're like, "Oh, this is like no, this is stupid," but like
enjoy
the kind you want to watch with people who are just going to have fun with it. I don't know that I'd put this on and watch it with people that didn't know what to expect. Like, well, what did you think about this? How do you feel? So that, I mean, there's lots to just kind of, it's a one you laugh at, but I don't know. I had a good time with it.
I'm really glad you shared those feelings.
But the reason that I say that is because my WTF moments are like, it's just so silly. When it's revealed that they're taking the body with them, and and all of a sudden it's like jumpsuit Spock with a little bitty thing on his head. And but not only that, he's remote controlled by the doctor, who has said he's not smart enough to do smart shit. But like somehow he turned him into like Robo Spock. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking stupid. It's amazing. It turns it into, it's so dumb, it's great. You know what I mean?
That is there are two moments for me. That is the big one. The first one is up front with McCoy's line, he's worse than dead. Kirk's like, come on, what's the mystery? And it's the deadpan delivery of Jim. His brain is gone. It's been removed. And just, I don't know if you're in the writer's room expecting to get a laugh from that, but I don't know how you don't crack up delivering that line. It's so great.
If you watch this and you're like looking for like depth, it's not there. This is the most straightforward episode of like, alien goes on ship, steals brain, go find brain, return brain.
I will argue against that later in the episode, and not in a good way. But there is a deeper thing here that I think is accidentally insidious.
Yes.
But that's the first one for me, where I'm just like, DeForest Kelley, you were doing the good Lord's work in that line delivery.
Oh boy. Yeah. And so that was my first WTF. What was the one you're thinking of?
Oh no, that was the his brain has been removed.
Oh
but
yeah.
The big one, the huge one that I just cackled at is when he beams down, McCoy and Spock beam down, because it is so out of pocket. It is so out of the blue. No single beaming in the history of Star Trek raises more questions, more surprisingly, than that. There is zero heads up. They haven't talked about this. They've mentioned that Spock's going to have to be on the planet, but they do not mention that we're going to need him walking around. We can't just carry him. There is no, I don't have the technology to do this. It's the most normal thing in the world. Spock beams down in pajamas with a thing on his head and McCoy with a remote control.
Amazing.
Zero questions asked.
Amazing.
It's incredible. And it kills me so much because it's presented to us as the most normal thing that could have possibly happened. Like they took a shuttle down.
Yes.
This is just what we do. Every couple of days, sometimes I need to remote control a brainless person. It's insane. It just asks so many questions, and I kind of love it. But it's ridiculous. But that is one of the reasons. Yeah. One of the big reasons this episode is derided and hated is because it pushes the science of Star Trek too far. It's too ridiculous, and that is often a theme with what the fuck Star Trek. Threshold Genesis, pushing the science fiction beyond what you can extrapolate and just taking the piss with it.
That it did feel, and I guess we're going to shift over into like a little bit of like where it loses it for me. And that the doctor acquiring the knowledge makes sense to me. It wearing off quickly, and then him having to talk to Spock as Spock is in there. Rough. It's like, that's hard for me to grasp, but that's for multiple reasons.
You mean Spock assisting with his own brain surgery is hard to grasp? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like it's perfectly normal.
It's such a swing. And I see why this episode specifically kind of is already shifting into a category of, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Pretend that last 5 minutes didn't happen.
Because to believe that Spock doesn't have permanent brain damage is, I kind of can't. Okay,
it's a
so
big step.
At the end, when he kind of sits up and he's like, cool, I'm back to it. And he starts to get kind of like very animatedly talking about the interesting things that are happening on that planet and like their history and stuff like that.
Which I would like to hear more of, by the way.
Right. That to me is a sign of Spock's brain damage because it was very animated. So I believe that some things happened in that reconnective surgery that resulted in him having to kind of like relearn how to be a Vulcan, because that was a very human thing at the very end to me.
I can buy it.
Did you? Yeah,
I can absolutely buy that. That makes sense. But that's where it loses the fans a lot, is especially that final scene where the teacher hat is fine, but then McCoy carrying on, because they go through all of this drama of, you need this knowledge. You can't do it without it. Spock says himself, the knowledge doesn't exist in the galaxy to do this. And so when you wave that away by Spock coming in and assisting with his own reattachment of his brain, you lose a lot of the science fiction fan base. And like, Star Trek was serious sci-fi. Like, it was serious for the most part, philosophical, deep thinking stuff, and then this feels like a cartoon and like a sci-fi B movie.
Yeah,
we can appreciate it now. Like, I personally had a much better time with this episode than I can ever remember having. Like, I kind of avoid it. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah,
but it's not as dull as I remember. It's not as boring as I remember. It's just, you gotta ignore the bullshit science.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you decide to go to church after you're not a churchgoer for a long time, and you're like, I'm just going to put this into the category of something I went to once. It's not really going to like really influence because my fear going into this is that it was going to mess with my Spock a little bit too much.
Yeah, and I wasn't worried about that, because I know Spock isn't in this episode.
He is, though. Like, he's a disembodied brain. He's still there. There's still this fascinating presence. There's still that sort of like him as a brain in a box trying to figure out where he is. That was really interesting to me, by the way. Like, the idea of why his brain is needed is very interesting to me. Like, that was cool. You all right? Bless you.
Oh, bless you for stopping, because your mic's going to pick up my sneeze.
So that was super exciting to me. Like, I was really getting into the alien stuff for like interesting reasons, but like, yeah, it shifts into did it mess with Spock too much? Not really.
No,
so like,
really
I'm okay with it. It's mostly the medical stuff that's entirely unbelievable. And then also just the idea that Starfleet is interjecting themselves into a culture in this way.
Insane.
Because I've watched modern Star Trek so much more, I am having that beautiful thing happen, which is watching old TOS and being really confused by the Wild West of Star Trek.
You're getting into it.
But
the internal inconsistencies in the canon.
But you and the fans have kind of prepped me for it in a way, like, wait till you watch old TOS. I remember like just the live chat, for example, always saying like, wait till you see this episode.
Yeah, you think Janeway and Cisco are doing something sketchy now? Wait till you see what Kirk pulls. And then partly because the rulebook hadn't been completely written and fleshed out.
Right.
Rick Berman and TNG and Voyager and DS9 really created that Star Trek rules as we know it now and as we really follow. TOS was the Wild West, both in universe and out of universe. Like, this season, by all rights, shouldn't have happened. So to come back to like season 3, episode 1, open with this, I wonder if the fans like, man, maybe that letter campaign wasn't a good idea.
No. But imagine like being a fan and then you fight for it and they come back and they're like, we're swinging big for you.
Yeah, we are swinging. You wanted us back, we're back, baby.
We're going to take Spock's brain out and you're not going to know how it gets back in.
We're going to take his brain off.
And they don't just like put it back in like a regular fashion. It's a drama. Everything was very drama. My other WTF moment that really got me was the dramatic overlay at the very end, when it's McCoy just like
doing
building this mystery of what's going to happen and is he going to finish. Like, we know we're going to finish the brain surgery.
DeForest Kelly just doing some top-notch eyebrow acting in that with the close-ups on his face and his eyebrows. Like, his eyebrows leave his face. I don't know if you saw it, but they actually detach from his skull, which is incredible acting.
I think we've talked about this before and we've said it a couple of times already, but when you're an actor, there are some times, I'm sure, that you're doing something with this character that you're embodying that you're just like, you're not okay with. So for you to tell me that they're like, ugh, this is so stupid, but they still did it anyway, and they gave it their all, I really appreciate it. I don't know.
And the one that's been really most vocal is Leonard Nimoy, and it's mainly like having to be the robot that is being controlled and walking around. Like it's that brainless element where he said, I just felt stupid. Like I was like, what are we doing? Like this isn't, it didn't feel like Spock. And it's just,
yeah, well, it's not.
It's a remote control body. Like, Spock. Are we really doing this?
Yeah.
So,
well, and it must feel a bit like modern movie making and modern TV making where it's all in these just segments. And until you sit down and watch it, you don't really know what order they're going to put it into. Yeah. And you're sometimes filming things out of order entirely. The voiceover that is done for Spock's character that kind of gave more of an understanding of what was happening inside the alien, the under the in like the bunker moments and things like that. Like if you don't really have a full picture of all of that, it would probably feel really, really strange. But yeah. In this universe, there is an alien race that has this capability. And that, I think, is the stuff that I'm really excited to dig into today. Yeah, so I don't know that there's a lot of answers for it. Like, have we ever seen this alien since and things like that? So
just to put that one
because I think they killed him, honestly. I think they came in. This was the last thing that happened because their brains were already atrophying from lack of use. They had to talk to this controller for all of their decisions. They just lived this very kind of life, and then they took their battery away and said, good luck, we humans made it, we'll help you out for a little while. Yeah, go talk to the men, they'll figure it out. And then they fucked off.
The men are gonna club them to death, realize they can't make any babies, and die. That's the end of this species story. That's it.
I don't even know how they've been able to is the idea that the people on the top of the planet and the aliens are a similar enough race to coexist together?
No, I think they are the same race.
They're the same race.
I think so. Okay, this is where I wish Spock had been allowed to talk, because he's getting into the actual description. But we get enough from him where I think this is a segregation between the genders of the same species. But I don't know how the baby making is happening, but the fact that it happened thousands of years ago means baby making is happening.
Oh, God.
Anyway, let's head back to the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
Which actually starts in a way that I kind of love, which is a kind of dramatic red alert situation. We watched the red alarm. We watched the remastered version, which has this fancy alien ship, clearly remastered. Red alert all over the bridge. They don't know what the alien is.
There's a panel that's flashing condition alert.
That's the famous panel that comes up a lot. Some interesting angles on the set of the bridge that I don't remember seeing a huge amount. Like there's a lot of reverse angles where I was oriented weirdly. I was like, wait, which bit of the bridge am I on?
Like they move the camera?
Yeah, they move the camera to just some angles where you can see the view screen a bit more. There's the angle that's basically from Kirk's POV, but to the right. And it's the glory shot of Sulu's scanner popping up from his console that's very slow.
The little arm that kind of comes up, the little machine that pops up.
Yep. There was just a lot of drama build up in this opening scene when they know they're going into a pretty silly concept. But how did you feel with the cold open, the mystery, the pretty lady appearing on the bridge? Where did you think it was going at this point?
Well, I know there's something about Spock's brain, so it makes sense. She goes over, she takes everybody out and then and touches his hair. I thought it was an interesting start. Starting inside of a crisis will draw you in and kind of bring you to the edge of your seat. I can see this being something that would be interesting to watch in season 3. Like you said, there's different camera angles, there's new things to kind of look at. But on this isn't just for this moment, but it's for the entire episode. The sound design was very distracting to me on this one.
Interesting. In what way?
Well, there's constantly noises going on. It's a constant thing.
Yeah.
And when you're on the planet, there's just always these sort of scanning, kind of a constant scanning happening.
There's a whine in the background that I've only just noticed on this episode, and it's the pre-whine to the transporter effect.
But it's but that's happening the whole time, and then it gets really loud on the transporter.
I'm super expecting somebody to beam down at every second. Like they were doubling up on some weird sound effects.
Yeah. So it starts off though on the bridge at the very beginning with all of the noises and things. But the clicks and the clacks and of the buttons being pressed fascinate me.
I love it. The bridge noises are
there's something so tactile about TOS that I really love. Like Uhura over there just pressing things. It's like click, clack, boom. You know,
super
there's
clunky
just
buttons.
And I really, really loved that. The appearance of a beautiful woman. I have to apologize for my notes. I literally was like, it has boobs. That is literally and when the one in the yellow appears when they go down the elevator, I just write in all caps boobs, because here's why. I kind of like know the Kirk vibe a little bit, and sort of the joke of like, oh, shock, it's a woman, shock, she has, you know, like physique, shock, you know. But I think the most shocking thing, I suppose, is that she is in a position of power and she takes them out quickly. And then the confusing part is later when she doesn't remember. And I like that they kind of play with this idea of, we know that it was Grape Lady, but we don't know why she can't remember. So they really did add some dimension to the story that kind of worked for me. And it's a fun mystery. How does she have enough power to knock out an entire ship? You know, we know that later on it's because she's given this knowledge for a brief moment. It's kind of like a drug that just gives you an adrenaline rush. It's a brain high or something. And that's kind of cool.
It's the pill from what's it called? Damn it, the Matthew McConaughey movie. Is it Matthew McConaughey?
I don't remember.
Not Selfless? Not Selfless. Limitless. Thank you. Limitless. Thank you, Rogan. Yeah, we'll do that another take. It's like the pill from Limitless.
Yeah.
Suddenly give you what you want. And it's also the plot from Joe 90, which is a Jerry Anderson puppet show. And basically Joe 90 would sit in a chair, have this big machine come onto his head, and he would get any knowledge that he needs to fulfill a secret spy mission. And he was, I think, 10 years old. And there you go.
Also Matrix.
Exactly. Yeah,
in fact, my notes literally at the point whenever he puts on the thing, I write, he knows Kung Fu.
Oh, if he said that, that would be the perfect outtake.
It would be the yeah, I know
Kung Fu. That's so good.
But yeah, it worked for me. It was an interesting start. They come back up, and then of course we've got the mystery of Spock's brain kicking off.
Well, the music shifts. Like we have a transferal beam targeted at the bridge. And that shift in music is so jarring. It immediately goes to the romantic, blurry vision,
tingle, tingle
music. Yep. And I'm like, is Kirk just going to make out with her immediately? Like we went straight to the make out music.
My notes are tingle, tingle, it has boobs. That's literally what I wrote down.
And there's a sound effect that kills me when every time she presses the button, the oing, 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 oing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the noise that her bracelet makes is so intense. Yeah, she was very fembot. She was very like robotic in an interesting way. Everybody's falling down. You know, it's great. It
sets up an interesting premise immediately. Like I do like that cold open. We go away to the credits and then we return. Spock is missing. Get to sickbay. His brain is gone, and it's one of those moments that I wish I could experience for the first time in the 60s, like with other people and fandoms. Like obviously communication wasn't as easy back then, but I would love to imagine that there's a WhatsApp group chat in 1969 that is just talking about the same year as the moon landing, Danae, and they're talking about, oh yeah, the moon landing is going to be great. Hey, did you see Spock's brain? What the fuck was happening in that episode? What's going on? But yeah, that we quickly get that Spock's brain is missing and Kirk is determined to go and find it. And I kind of love Kirk's passion. Like, we're going, whatever it takes, we're going to do it. And McCoy is telling him the odds, but it's like, we're going to find it. And this is just obviously the scene where we're listing everything that is against us here. And we have an arbitrary time limit. Did you buy into anything McCoy was saying in terms of like it being impossible? At this point, did you think, oh, McCoy's just going to find a way to do it? Because it's hard to believe them when they say this thing is impossible when we see them achieve impossible things. But this one really hinges on it being impossible for a human to reattach Spock's brain.
Yeah, and that's the biggest like downfall of this episode is that a human was responsible for attaching the brain. And that's and they didn't even like put it under that he was on, knowledge teacher juice, brain juice to do it. It was literally just the doctor. And obviously he was guided by Spock. And that's sort of the rub at the end that kind of carries over this little jaunting back and forth between Bones and Spock that I know has kind of been part of the show from the beginning. And that's kind of fun and everything. But it's the most difficult part is that the show tells you over and over again how impossible it is. And then it does the impossible.
It doth protest too much.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting. Anything that is made in this era of TV is interesting because like this is before touch DNA was a thing. This is before we have so many medical advances in our world that we could use to describe what's happening in this episode. Like if this episode was attempted now with Strange New Worlds or something like that, they would describe the absence of a brain differently. So to listen to them say that this is the greatest technological job ever, every nerve is sealed, nothing is ripped, torn, or bleeding. It's a medical miracle. It's like, well, that's great and everything, but now you've told me that they've cauterized every nerve. So how are you going to,
yes, snip them open again?
So, but in that time, that probably sounded like, oh, that explains it. It's not bleeding, so you can put the brain back in later. So that was kind of an interesting another what the fuck, Star Trek, what are you doing? But then the doctor is confused about, well, we can do this indefinitely, but we also only have 24 hours. So it really just kind of played a little bit too much for how it was going to be possible. When he said we've got 24 hours, I was confused because I thought he had just said that we could kind of just keep it around and restore it indefinitely. But
so he said that if this was a human, he could do it indefinitely on life support.
But because the Vulcan.
Because he's a Vulcan and they don't know much about Vulcan medicine at this point, he said he doesn't know how long and then said, nope, it's definitely 24 hours. So that was a bit sudden.
Yeah.
But the interesting bullshit in this section for me is him saying Vulcans are more dependent on their brains than human. I was like, how do you, on the spectrum of how much you depend on your brain, everyone's at the same point other than an octopus who has 8 brains, but they're a different being altogether. It was a wild statement to explain why there is such a ticking clock here. I didn't need that human bit at all. Like, I would believe that a human would be in trouble if this happened to them as well.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, it definitely gave the vibe of like humans are a little bit dumber and Vulcans are smarter and they need their brains more. So we got to go. But I did like the next scene where we have to like follow with this ion trail.
Yes, me too.
I thought this is starting at 5431.4, just so you know.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That's really important. It's not at all. It's just in my notes. So I just said it. Yeah. But they have this ion trail and it kind of leads to this interesting on the bridge moment. And I'm wondering what you think about this, Ian, because they're sort of like following the trail until it gets cold and then looking at the nearby systems and finding a planet and deducing which ones could sustain life and based on what they know that this alien could breathe the air on the ship. So they know it has to be this kind of a planet.
This is my jam with Star Trek, just to pause real quick. This is what I love, like smart people doing the analysis, the open discussion. Kirk isn't going in saying, I'm the smartest man in the room, we're going to do what I say. He's asking his people. He asked Chekhov for his best opinion. He asked Sulu for his best opinion.
Yeah.
Uhura gets to chime in with some of what she's seeing
like,
as well.
Why do they want the brain?
They're talking about like the ship scanners and the energy pulses that are coming from that the other planet that's in an ice age. And there's so much, I think, really good deductive reasoning that happens. Even them getting to the solar system, it's logical that because the ion trail has stopped, that means the engines are off, which means they're around here somewhere. Let's find some habitable planets. We know that they breathe our oxygen. Therefore. I love it in an episode of nonsense. That's some really solid logic, I think.
Well, when Uhura says, what do they want his brain for? That's when I said, what if his brain is a battery? So it was at this moment that I was like, oh, wait a second.
Nice.
Because they had been talking about what each of these planets were. And since all of them had some degree of difficulty to believe that there would be a highly advanced civilization that could have the ability to remove a brain at this level and this degree and travel in this unique spaceship that
and the ion drive,
that McCoy, I think, no, not
Scotty.
McCoy. Scotty was really impressed by. He's like, "Oh, I'd love to see that thing."
I'd like to get a look at her ample nacelles.
So like we know that there's this lack or an appearance of a lack. So that made me think, oh, maybe they need the battery to do something. So that's kind of when I put that out. So Kirk decides that on this hunt, she's going to send a party because Uhura senses like this pulse, which we find out is actually part of a trap. And I thought that was really cool. Like they really sort of like brought it all together. Like,
was it part of a trap?
Yeah. So in the elevator, they had food and they had weapons that the cavemen men would go into. I'm going to call them cavemen men would go into to try to like get their supplies. And I think it was just like this little, because it was on the wall. And it was like, wham, wham, wham,
I figured it was just a power source. I thought it wasn't necessarily attracting them, but it was a power source that was beyond what the cave people would be able to use. And that's that's what's powering the elevator and the underground society that isn't visible from orbit. It's a sign that there's something more going on. And I think they're confusing it with like a natural weather-based phenomenon, but it could also be something else as well. Like if it's regular, that's usually not in nature when it's a consistent, regularly repeating pulse.
There was like a little thing on the wall that was consistently sending out a signal, and they were talking about it being sort of like a trap. So I just thought that was kind of what the signal that Uhura picked up on. So that is what gave Kirk kind of that first, what's going on over here? So this is a glacial planet that's very cold. It's like 40 degrees outside, livable if you have thick skin, according to this episode.
Yeah, if you're from Russia, apparently, is basically what Kirk was saying.
And they send their team to that particular planet on a hunch. And that's sort of where we kick off the next part. So, but I like the deductive reasoning too. I thought that was kind of the good part of that, to see the team working together to solve a problem.
But I really, really love that part. But there is also some nonsense in it that is never explained. And the first planet, Chekhov is describing it on the wall, and is describing that it's in like a technological phase or industrial phase. And Kirk just says, approximately 1485. Like, wait, what? That is so specific.
Yeah.
That is such a specific year to pull from based on what Chekhov had said. It's almost like Kirk read the same report Chekhov did, but was still asking Chekhov to explain the report
just to make sure he knew what he was doing.
And the second planet is approximately 2030, and then the third planet is glacial.
None of them are capable of flight, but there was a high energy on planet 6. It could be natural, but it's not regular sounding. But there was no sign of civilization.
A little mystery within a mystery.
That's what we were doing.
Like that.
I do too.
Really quick, when they start this chase for the ion trail, he says maximum warp
6.
Sulu says warp 6.
I noted that.
And this is like one of the most wobbly things about TOS, because I know they regularly travel at warp 7. So this is why, and it's like so petty.
Just tell us. Just tell us it's because there was a nacelle down that day.
Yeah. Just tell us that's maximum warp for some other reason. Like, you need Spock's brain to get to warp 7. Tell us something. But yeah, this is why it's so petty, but the consistency of TNG is something that's very happy and very comfortable for my brain. The inconsistency of warp in TOS drives me batty, and maybe I should talk to a counselor about it. Maybe I need consistency in my life.
It must feel a bit like if you DM a D&D game and you record it and you're just like bullshitting your way through, and then it gets really, really popular and people go back and listen to it because they want to be completist, and they're judging you for stuff that you just couldn't prepare for. It's a little unfair in a way.
But I would, true, but as a player in that campaign, I'm the note taker. So I would generally. So if I'm like collecting the lore and I'm rewarded for then referring back to something that my character remembered, that's great to me. If I mention something and the DM's like, yeah, I don't remember saying that, and it's like a big plot point, That kind of hurts because then
It
where's
does.
the reward for paying attention?
It does, but
and it's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure
payoff.
as a DM, especially like I can't even imagine on the level of some of the like the really famous DMs that we have right now, like that their lore has to be its own legitimate world. They have to remember everything. It's a lot. I don't know. I have a lot of grace for the early TOS. I think you have to have so much fluidity with the early with TOS specifically because they're doing something that had been done before.
Where no one had gone before. We get down to the planets, and my big question here, other than what's up?
I'm just this part. They're little. Is it called a page cut where they have like the flat bangs and like the little bob cuts?
Oh,
they're
cut?
all wearing the same wig.
Yes, they all have exactly the same wig, fake beard.
Somebody just like ratted it up a little bit, like maybe you know how they say that TOS didn't have a big budget and they just had to kind of go to the bin.
Yeah.
It's like all of those were 1920s wig from the adjacent studio that had like, they were doing Chicago or something that day, and like they just I don't know, they just
the script note
so
for that
funny.
is just cave people fuck it. That's all it is for the costume department. My question in this moment is they get down to the planet, and other than budgetary reasons, why are we going by foot? Why are we not doing a shuttle survey? Take the Galileo down there, do a little fly around. It going down on foot always seems so inefficient to me when they don't really know where they're going. Like they just went to where the life forms are. Budgetary restrictions. So they meet some cavemen that are large. They say multiple times they are large. Like these aren't humans, people.
They're large.
Because they're larger. Okay, remember, these are aliens.
They're large.
Because they are larger. They are
That's
bigger.
Right. Well, and this is where I get confused a little bit. I don't know if because the downstairs ladies say something about them being a specific kind of person. What was the name that they used? Let me see if I can find it. I know I wrote it down, but where? I have over 474 lines of text.
Yep, that'll do it.
Right, or something like that. Let's see. Robo Spock. No, that's not it. iMorgs.
Yeah, there's the Morgs, the iMorgs, and Luna. Or she is Luna.
She's a name. That's the name of one of them. So this is where I get a little confused. Like, if these cavemen are iMorgs, or morgues or whatever, that to me wasn't extremely clear by the end. If this was an alien race that had sort of sat itself on a primitive planet to just use them for their brains. I think it's just what they called instead of male and female, it's morgues and then Luna, and it's something that the translator couldn't translate because it's too abstract. Like there just wasn't a direct translation is my headcanon for that. But that's why I don't think it's a trap, because she's expecting the cavemen to come out of the elevator. So I don't think it's a trap for Kirk and everybody. It's they're expecting them to come down to do whatever they're doing. It's a trap for the cavemen.
But the cavemen
so that they can
willingly.
No, they're wearing the belts. They're like serving them for.
But they get rewarded for serving them. So it's reward for obedience and pain for disobedience.
Right, they've been enslaved.
Pain and pleasure.
They've been enslaved
by the women folk.
And that was their trap to get them.
Right.
And I think over time the cavemen are like, don't go in there because that's a bad place.
Do you think?
Yeah, because they're terrified.
They're still going, but they're still going in there.
Because some people are hungry and they just want to jump in there. The real question is why didn't close the first people that went in? They went in, they're like, oh, this is a trap, we should leave. And then they leave and they come back with Spock. So that's the real question there.
No, that's completely fair.
But anyways, my impression was that, we get to see these sort of cavemen, these men with bangs, and it was like spaceman versus caveman, and they have this sort of standoff in the mountains, and I was for sure I was going to see some Kirk punching, and I was so excited, and I was very disappointed because we don't see Kirk punching. We see one phaser go off. It sends out this big burst. That was really interesting.
I hate it so much. They changed the phasers to this green full screen.
It's like a force field or something.
And the only reason for it is budgetary. So doing the thin blue laser beam is really expensive. Even in TNG, they were rationed on phaser fire because each beam I think costs $3,000 to CGI at the time, or to animate in, or however they did it. So it is purely you, like for season 3, I think your budget is rock bottom. If you're going to do this, this is the $2.50 that you have.
Then
And
thank
the
you for doing
green-
it then.
And the green thing is just,
How
it's
dare
cheaper.
you be
It's
upset?
because it looks fucking shit.
That's
And
like
it's
saying
inconsistent.
that's like saying that our little 3D print decorations are shit because we didn't get them in gold.
No, it isn't. No, it's just, it can still look, I can understand why it happened and still be annoyed with it. I don't have to say it looks good. It looks terrible.
It looked
compared to
cool.
the regular bit. I don't think so.
What are you talking about?
I think it looks like
It was
shit.
a wall of green.
I think it looks stupid.
It was like a blast that went out, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
But only hit a couple of them, and say if it was a wide beam phaser burst, I would get it. But it didn't. It hit some people in the background who run away, and the other cavemen were fine.
We are so spoiled by modern Star Trek.
We
get to see the coolest fucking like phaser fire.
No, I'm spoiled by the previous 2 seasons of TOS who had good special effects.
Right, but then this is the one that the people fought for, right?
Both season 2 and 3. Yeah,
Okay.
they both. I believe they both had letter writing campaigns. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad we got more Star Trek. Great, but I can still be irritated by the penny pinch. I'm not annoyed with Star Trek. I'm annoyed with the penny pinchers that didn't let us have the shiny special effects.
So would you have rather had less shiny boobs?
Yes. Are you high right
Just be-
now? Yes. The Great Lady could be dressed completely in a just completely black robe, top to bottom,
Right.
no skin showing.
Right.
Give me the fucking blue phaser.
Fewer extras dressed as cavemen, more phaser fire.
100%.
I get it.
Fire one
I
of
get
those humans so that I can have a phaser beam. That's what it is.
I get it.
This does lead us directly into what the fuck, Prime Directive. We know you exist. And it was this moment when they start phasering everybody that I backpedaled a few steps and I was like, oh wow, it's not just that they're phasering people willy-nilly. They didn't even have this conversation on ship that you're in, or whichever planet you pick. They aren't warp capable. We haven't made contact with them. We will be interfering if our plan is to just go down to the densest population and snoot around for Spock. Like, I think there is this technicality where because this advanced, they know they have an advanced spaceship and they've taken one of their people's brains. They have a
Spock's brain, specifically.
Spock's brain specifically. Maybe they have a loophole where that allows them to interfere. But at this point, they have no idea that the cave people are connected to the aliens at all. So they should be tiptoeing around the cave people, avoiding them at all costs. Definitely not shooting them and then interrogating one of them.
Oh, I love this part. I've been trying to open this secretly
amazing.
underneath
You have
for
been
like
waiting
5
for
minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah,
I'm so fucking hungry. I'm just gonna eat this.
do it. Let me just turn your mic up. There we go.
I mean, I did not eat enough.
I'm gonna suck
So
on
sorry.
my sour, my
Mhm.
lemon thing.
This is just. Remember when we said we were just gonna do the show and we are gonna talk to chat, but now we're just eating.
Yeah. How you doing, chat?
I'm so hungry.
You good?
I'm like a child. I'm literally eating string cheese and Doritos.
You are.
I'm so sorry, Kachar. I have
Wait,
to.
hang on. I'll do some.
I just need
ASMR.
I just need a little bit of fuel. I'm so sorry. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. I feel like this is I feel like I'm doing the bell from Amok Time. You know, the people at the background. That
Oh yeah.
just ringing the bells.
100%. Okay. I gotta stop. We're not gonna get this show done.
Okay. Well, I've got candy in my mouth now.
You shake it out.
Well, I can't because I bit it. So now I have 7 pieces of candy in my mouth.
7? You bit it?
Yeah,
You're not
wanted it. I thought it had a gooey center.
No, it's just like a rock candy.
Well, I know that now.
Oh my god. That's all
can't keep it
tea
in the
time. It is
podcast.
tea time. I forgot my tea. It's upstairs. Fuck!
Go get your tea.
No, it's fine.
Get your tea. You should get
No,
your
it's
tea.
okay. It's
You've
okay.
got time.
Yeah. So this moment with the cavemen was really interesting. Let's read a little bit. I'm going to give you my notes version of the conversation.
Let's go.
We mean you no harm. We're not the enemy. We're your friend. We only wish to talk. And I guess this is where the universal translator kicks in.
We come in peace, shoot to kill. The universal translator is always there.
Okay.
It's always happening.
And they're like, you're not the others. Like, well, we come from a far place. We're men like yourselves. You're so small.
Yeah, no shade.
Like the others. Who are the others? And then there's like this conversation, like, we come from the sky.
Mhm.
They're gonna see you. The others will come for you. Like for all of us, like you're women, female. Your words say nothing. And I'm like, yeah.
Just talking directly to the writers in that
Your
moment.
mate, your companion, and every caveman is super confused, and they're all shaking, and he does not want them to find the others. And so then we have this new enemy. The grape lady is an other, and I'm so reminded of Lost.
I was in The Others.
Yeah, because that's what they're called. They're called the others,
box.
right?
Yeah,
so it's like,
ooh,
okay, here we go. They're underground. They're in a secret place. They're kind of controlling things.
Are they pushing a button every 167 minutes or whatever it is?
It was super Lost, right?
Oh, it's very true. Yeah,
there's even like the elevator going down.
I love that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so I was
there was no original story. Everything comes from somewhere. So that entire exchange, that's where like my first real, like up until this point, I've had lots of laugh moments that are like, how this is ridiculous. This is my first like real eye roll moment because they're laying it on so thick. Like,
what part?
About the women. They really want you to know that these people do not know what women are. Like this is you're going to understand this later because there's a divide between the men and the women. Like the universal translator won't be able to understand. They don't have a concept of women. They're baffled by this. Like apparently Kirk has never met a species that had a single gender or multiple genders. And we know they exist in Star Trek. The Andorians, for example, have 3 genders. And Kirk has met and knows Andorians. So it was just the fact that they were so baffled by the possibility of a singular gender was just like, well, this is for the story. This isn't Kirk actually being confused.
It was part of the mystery. He's like a dead and buried city on a planet of glacial age. And then I think Bones maybe says, and no, it wasn't Bones. It was somebody else. Scotty says, and male humanoid doesn't know the meaning of female.
Oh, Chekhov, sorry.
Oh, it's Chekhov. Okay.
That's my other big gripe with the bulk of this episode is the majority of the writing is people explaining things that we've just seen again and again and again. Like so much of the episode is just retelling things that we've seen or not.
When you come back from commercial break specifically.
Yeah, to get a recap. So there's a lot of like unnecessary dialogue and recapping, and so much of the episode is a previously on the thing that you just saw 2 minutes ago.
And it kind of succinctly explains it for you too.
It like bottles it down into a couple sentences.
Yes, if we want you to know where you're at right now. And sometimes that's actually really helpful.
It can be, but so much of this episode appears to be filled with it.
But this like prime directive interruption is the prime directive moment, like where they're talking to this guy is interrupted by the discover of the cave entrance with the food. It's a storehouse. There's this blinking light thing. It's metal forged and tempered, and quote unquote the apish friends didn't make these like different tools and things like that. And then they say this is a trap. So it's a food lure. Yeah,
it's a trap for the cave people. I completely missed that line that it's a trap. So it's not necessarily a trap for Kirk, but it is a lure to get more cave people.
I think so.
To serve them, and reproduce with.
Well, that's not really explicitly.
They don't mention it.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how they reproduce. We don't know how the cavemen reproduce. We don't know how the ladies downstairs reproduce. We have no idea if they're like, do they live for an indeterminate amount of time? Like, we really don't understand how the species works. And I don't think that the writers wanted us to think too much about it because they're kind of making some swings for women-led society and things like that. So
now, this is where they accidentally are not. And I really want to. We get more of this when Kirk actually talks to them about their society and he's trying to get it out of them. And she's explaining the morgues or whatever they're called.
iMorgs or morgues. Yeah, iMorgs like, you're not a morgue, you're not an iMorgue. So I don't know.
They explain about the teacher later on, but we've mentioned the women-led society thing. It is dangerously insidious, this episode, because my read on it this time, because I wanted to do just like a mental dive into if I can find some philosophy in this episode, what would it be? Like, if I can find a Star Trek message or what we're trying to explore, on the surface, there's like, switch your brain off and just let one person be smart, and you'll have like a better life if you're all stupid and if you're all dumbed down, and just let one brain do all of the thinking, and the sheep will live a better life. Ignorance is bliss. But there's this other layer to it where the women are in charge, but they're only in charge because they are the producers of pleasure and pain. And it's like when the women are left to be in charge, their stupid brains can't handle it because they're so silly. So they have to put the smart hat on that was created by the aliens to then actually be in charge and make the big decisions, and then use their wiles, use their ability to pleasure men and to cause pain in men, because the men are needed to do the hard work. They're needed to do like the proper jobs, and all the women have is the ability to cause pleasure and pain to survive and to keep their society alive. There was just like so much when I like was getting my brain to dig into it, like just anti-woman sentiment in this entire episode. Like, their base level is they're stupid, and then as soon as they're smart, they cause pain and pleasure to get their way. And it was just like, it was an interpretation I couldn't get out of my brain that just feels very not Star Trek. And I'm like,
but it does feel very 60s.
It does feel very 60s. I'm like, is this whoever in their brain wrote the core of this, or whoever it went through? I know Gene Roddenberry isn't super connected to the writing at this point, but I'm like, was there a subtext here that somebody was trying to slip in about how dangerous women are when they're in charge? And I just like, that's given me a new perspective on this episode. So I wonder if you picked up on any of that, because I love your brain on this stuff.
Oh yeah. I was constantly going, what is this saying? Like, what is the symbolism here of what the episode is swinging for? And I can't say that I know 100% because it was a little confusing to me, but ultimately I feel like there is a genuine attempt here to put women in leadership and do something unique on TV and still please all the men in charge. And I think that there was some compromise about how it was going to work. Let's leave out the women and men part. Let's like if we take the gender out of this entirely, it kind of is a really interesting story of, first of all, I don't know if the big brain and the teacher brain and like all these different sort of influences that you can put on to learn about there, if that is the alien species that has dominated this planet of like others, like, or if the women are the alien species. I've got so many questions that this will not answer.
No, and Spock is just getting at the fact that this glacial age inspired this separation of the sexes, and we haven't seen anything like this since old Earth in Roman times, and then gets cut off. So
it does seem that they were separated.
This is a deliberate choice. And I can't ignore the gender because they have been split by men and women. So why?
That's interesting.
Why were they split by gender? Why were the men up on the planet and the women kept underground?
When I first was like kind of trying to put my brain onto this, it was like women are in charge and they own the men as slaves, but they're dumb. And they can't.
The women or the men?
The women,
right?
And the men are confused and scared, and they're slaves. So like they're going to do whatever they're told because they're wearing like pain belts or whatever. So that was interesting. But the women are dumb, and they're dumb because they don't have to think for themselves because they go to the
thinking cap,
the controller for their information and the teacher and all these things. But then there's certain lines that are like, well, we can't access the knowledge until I'm told by the elders. And there was this like painting of a deeper picture of what the society is like. Mm-hmm. And I find that to be fascinating. There's like, there's a short that popped up in my feed recently, and it was about a group of women that have been living on their own land for like 80 some years without men. And there's just women, but they're getting old enough now that they need new women to come in and like help because it's
Right.
hard to go get their water and things like this. And so they're garnering some social media attention because they've isolated themselves and so that they can kind of live their own life apart from having any male influence. I find that really fascinating,
Mhm.
but they're not dumb. They've been surviving on land
Yeah.
for, nearly 100 years or whatever. And that's really interesting. How are these women surviving? How are they remembering to eat? There's this like mention of some parts of them atrophying because it's not used well, that they have a mind of a child.
It's just their intelligence. So it's their like kind of their self-direction and their like if you ask them to do a math problem, they wouldn't be able to because they haven't needed to use that bit of their brain. So their life is eating and sleeping and then occasionally using the thinking cap to get just smart enough to continue society. So it's kind of like the read I got is like the best way for you to enjoy this is to be dumb and then put this on when something needs to actually get done. But the rest of the time, ignorance is bliss.
Because the idea here is that we happen to pop in on this episode at the exact moment that the old brain, the old brain has like reached the end of its life. Like the 10,000 years is done and we're shifting over into the next 10,000 years. And the idea is that Spock's brain is going to be that new battery for 10,000 years. And so Grape Lady, who is like the leader, is refusing to let our guys like take the brain back and fix their Spock because their society, needs it. So, but yes, you're like, I was picking on the subtleties of, but don't think for yourself, or you don't need to use your brain, or you don't need to do these things because just operate on the bare minimum so that you can kind of survive, which maybe makes more sense if they were willing to dig in, but I don't know that they can in the 1960s. I don't, whenever this kind of came out, like there's so much going on at that time for women. So
I would just love to know what the intent was, because I've got a very dark read on what was being implied in this episode, that the women can't be in charge with their intelligence, because if they are, they'll use their wiles to control the men.
There's a comment that from Wandering that was like, they're so dependent on AI they can't think for themselves. And I think that's the take that I got on this, is that they had become the decisions were so easily made for them that they couldn't like.
So dependence on technology is going to eventually make, if there's a message, it's that if humans keep relying on TV and computers and technology, we didn't really have home computers at this point, but eventually technology will take something away from us to the point where we're stupid cave people that can't think for themselves.
That's it. That's kind of what I thought. Yeah. That's where I sort of like landed. But what hit me hard was a little bit of like the ending where Kirk is like taking that curtain away and saying, we're removing your technology so that you can be better together. And that kind of hit me kind of weird, because it's like, well, but you're assuming that these women need the men and the men need the women. Like they're obviously fine up top.
Yeah. What if they don't work like humans?
Yeah. So that was a little bit like, oh, you have to have each other to survive. And I don't know that he should never have the confidence to say that to any species.
He's presuming that he knows the best next step for the course of history for these people to kind of semi-quote Picard in Insurrection.
So the messages aside, or what they were trying to go for or not trying to go for aside, I was super fascinated by this sort of like back and forth conversation of like, what have you done with the brain? Well, she's not lying. She doesn't know. She's like a child. You're not a morgue or an iMorgue. And there's just this kind of confusion. I thought for a second that they were going to put his brain into it. Like that everybody has a brain put into them to sort of keep going. Like they were immortals. So that Spock's brain was going to be put into a person for a second. Like, because you're trying to figure out like, why are they miscommunicating so strongly,
Yeah.
But they're clearly in a position of power because they have this ability to like use a bracelet and just blast everybody. And then they put on these belts to control them even more. And, Robo Spock isn't like under control. So he ends up kind of saving the day. But like the figuring out of like, how they use their technology, how his brain is plugged into the supercomputer that basically keeps the entire facility running with fresh air and blood. Like that was so cool. And that is the kind of sci-fi I'm fucking here for.
There really is.
So the messaging was a little bit like, okay, what are you going for? Maybe it's a little bit mixed because the way that it's being portrayed has to go through so much sexism for whatever reason, whether it's intentional or unintentional, just due to the, like when it was written. I'm not sure about that, but the idea of a society having to exist this way, where we're going to plug a brain in, it's going to power our systems, and then when we need to, when we're allowed to, we'll access even more ancient information. That's fucking cool. That means that somewhere out there in Star Trek universe, there is this planet that has the hairdryer thing, and you just
everything you can do with
plug into it, you know?
It should be the first point of call whenever you have a mystery. Like, adapt that technology so that it doesn't kill you after one or two uses. But again, it's a one episode memory. Never see this technology again. As far as I know, we never see these aliens again. They're not even named other than Luna, Morg, Morg. We don't really
Grape Lady.
Get that. Grape Lady,
I'm pretty sure I got her name. She's Akira or something like that.
Was she? Yeah.
Yeah, they said, Kira, you can't take him to the whatever. So like it's kind of thrown out there a little bit.
To your point, Sci-Fi Brony sent a message on the Discord saying that, and I didn't fully buy it until I rewatched it this time, that there is a really good episode of Star Trek in here. And there is a really great premise here. If you take away the Spock's brain adventure, which is wild, but if they fully explored and delivered this, why did this segregation happen? What was the logic behind it? Like, dig into this and dig into how exactly this works. There's a really fascinating sci-fi concept at the heart of this episode that isn't about brains being stolen.
Maybe some of the other stuff that sort of bothered you about, just I'm kind of thinking, looking back at my notes, as there were several times when they're like, you couldn't have possibly built this. You know, without saying you're a woman.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, you're not smart enough. Like, the person I'm talking to now is, you're so dumb. You could not have possibly built this. Go away. Stop talking to me.
But I think the idea was that their brains sort of like, again, they forget.
Yeah, they have like an hour of very specific super knowledge, and then they go back to their potato brains. Well, we've already talked about it, but at this point, Spock gets beamed down apropos of fucking nothing as a robot. I don't know why there is clockwork ticking.
It's amazing.
Did McCoy install little clockwork motors throughout Spock's body? Possibly.
No. I think it's just what the little thing makes. I think it's just like little ticks. Why not? You have to use a sound of some kind. Why not make them a little clockwork?
Just zero, and then the dramatic zoom on Spock's face when he beams down and he has his eyes open. Like, why are his eyes open? His eyes should be closed. Like, why do they need to be open? He's not looking anywhere.
He's clockwork. His arms and legs move. Why not his eyes?
McCoy's doing his arms don't need to move other than swaying slightly because they're just limp noodles. But his head should be like lolling to one side. He should be like a hunchback.
No, somehow this machine controls a lot of stuff.
This machine is
thought a lot about
fucking insane. It's amazing. They go downstairs and we have this quick cut back to what Chekhov is doing, which is phasering a rock for warmth. And in the history of superfluous scenes that we do not need, Chekhov and the other two red shirts just huddling around this rock, keeping their hands warm. It's some great cold person acting, but it's like, wow, you spent the special effects budget on that, but you couldn't give me the fucking regular phaser beam earlier. It annoyed me today.
It's okay. It's
not okay. It's not okay. But they get downstairs. Kirk shoots on sight because Lady is surprised. So here we go. The next bit of bullshit that I came across was McCoy's lie detector. He can say for certain that this alien is not lying when she says she does not know about the brain. And again, it is so accidentally undermining telepaths, what Deanna does. Like, he's just met this alien and he can say with certainty with his 2260s hand tricorder or 2280s, whenever it is, she is definitely not lying. No changes in her physiology.
Don't be mad at her. She doesn't have the information. She's just a stupid woman.
Yeah.
She might look like a woman, but she's just a little kid in there. But that is what kind of amplifies the curiosity of like what's going on. That's the miscommunication, like I was saying, that was really exciting for me.
There is a key mystery there where it's like, oh, you really couldn't have done this. So,
or even as we get further in, the mystery of like the grape lady not remembering. That's really interesting.
Yes. Like she eventually can acknowledge it happened, but doesn't know how, when, why, what, or when. So we get Spock on the communicator. What did you think was happening when he suddenly appeared on the communicator?
Oh, Spock?
Yeah, his disembodied voice just appears.
I mean, you have to do this in the episode. You need to have that assurance that Spock's brain's alive and doing something. It was so fun. It was like the disembodied voice of like some sort of godlike, character that can speak to you from anywhere but still doesn't know. It's kind of like, I'm not really sure where I am right now. I can't really imagine getting into a body right now. I'm sort of feeling like I'm everywhere all at once. And
bodiless
that was really, really fun. I think the idea that we have that internal perspective of what it means to be plugged into this society's survival machine, this sort of incredibly advanced technology that has in a sense become obsolete because the society is so unadvanced, it's caveman and so basic that the science is barely needed. Probably for good reason. Like maybe it only lasts for certain uses and then it's done. So you only put on the teacher hat in like super specific situations. So it really built the mystery of like, where is Spock? Is he okay? And then that kind of quiet confidence that Spock's still there somewhere. I think an episode without Spock would feel a bit empty.
Yeah, I think you'd feel disappointed coming back to season 3 and not hearing that beautiful voice for a little bit.
And how many opportunities do we have to hear Spock as just a brain talking?
Not often.
So it's great. I don't know. I liked it.
I'm with you. No, but again, it's Leonard Nimoy. Like his voice, I could have him talk about anything and it elevates everything that he says. So this is where one of your wishes was brought to life, Danae. They're eventually captured, held in a room, and they have some lovely banter between each other before attacking.
Oh yes, I was so excited. The punches, the chops, the kicks, the smashes, the table leaps and the things like that. Like
Scotty just getting manhandled everywhere. Kirk doing some flying kicks.
There was a line before the fight. Those women could have never set up this place. Genius would be needed.
I mean, okay, to be fair, it's not like because women aren't geniuses.
I know, but it's just like it's just like, wow, you said that, and there's context. There is context here,
but it's still a sentence.
So that was still a sentence.
And then wild.
And then they go for their things, and they're stopped, and then they have sort of this like Kirk sort of walks over his way, like these fellows are trying to keep us from our property, and then like. We need to provide them with some science, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So
and then
bad.
they just attack. It's fucking great.
I hate that little banter back and forth that let's catch them by surprise by talking in a nonchalant manner.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's silliness. And like it also shows the stupidity of the guards that are in the room. They're just basically props.
Yeah.
Which, we can be upset about what to say about women, but it's also saying very interesting things about men as well.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That you've been reduced to just a caveman that knows how to hit with rocks and throw stones and stuff.
It's because of the women that they're just being used. I still think it comes back to the women are doing it. I don't know. I didn't think I'd be thinking this deeply about Spock's brain. It's fascinating.
Well, but like to your point though, like that's also saying that men didn't continue with their advancement. Like they haven't created a society that can exist with intellect and
stilted by the women.
No, I think the idea is that the women are just taking them down below to use them as their like muscle and protection.
So interesting.
I don't know.
There was again another just out of pocket chauvinistic sexist back and forth between, I think is it Scotty and Kirk or McCoy and Kirk? One of them is like, I'm sure you noticed their aspects. And Kirk's yes, I couldn't help but notice their lovely aspects. Or so it's like, did I miss something there? Was that just a boobs.
Oh, boobs for
It
sure.
was just boobs. I was like, yeah, I've seen that they're
100%.
beautiful, but what were they getting at? Like, I'm sure I want to hear what you had in your notes for that moment specifically.
Oh, I don't even know if we're there yet.
Are we not?
I don't know. Let's see where I'm at in my notes.
I think that's just before the fight.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I have written pain and delight. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
No, it's a lot.
Let's see.
It's definitely before the fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when they're talking about what to do next.
Okay. I didn't write anything down because honestly, I was the one that wrote boobs.
Well,
So I really can't like be too upset with them.
You were
about
just
it.
like, TOS, this is what happens. TOS does this all the time. But yeah, it was like, we have to acknowledge that these are pretty ladies and we can't leave this scene without Kirk spelling that out specifically. So
that's when they communicate with Spock, and it's like, I have a body which stretches into infinity. And then they're like, you have no body. You are a disembodied brain. And he goes, fascinating.
That's the best Spock response.
And they sort of have this back and forth where he's like, why did you come here? Like, this is so stupid because there's no way you're going to put me back in. There's 24 hours until I die. This skill doesn't exist in this galaxy.
What a bold thing to say. Have you met everyone in the galaxy, Spock?
Well, I think the idea is he's plugged into like infinite knowledge in a way. Like he's kind of plugged into the machine and sort of can access some really interesting things.
But
that's
he
kind of the
has
idea.
the knowledge in the machine to do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So he knows it is possible. That's the wild thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like I think.
Well, maybe he knows that the women aren't going to put the hat on, but he also so it's kind of, and maybe up until then a human hadn't done it yet. So
yeah.
But then they say beam a signal so we can hone in on you.
Easy as that.
And he's like, okie dokie.
Leave it with me.
He says acknowledged, which made me think about the computer in TNG.
Oh, they're like setting up the holodeck or something.
Yeah, they're like acknowledged. Just like this. He was very much the disembodied computer voice, and I would love that personally.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. If the TNG, Joe Barrett's great. But if some part of the TNG computer had been Leonard Nimoy.
And that's the awkward moment when Robo Spock is forced to walk out of the room like some remote controlled toy.
My gosh, yeah.
And he asks Spock if they can remove the belt. Spock says, I'm going to make it a top priority, and then immediately gets back and is like, oh yeah, there's a red bracelet release button. They walk through the compound. They get to a door. And the grape lady is inside. This is like the control room. Mm-hmm. So they all walk in. She presses a button. They fall to the floor. And then
you ready for some nonsense today?
And then Jim has to reach for the remote control because the doctor's like, he's not being affected. And so Captain Kirk is able to like reach over and use this device, and without really seeing what's happening with Spock, push the buttons, although he has never pushed them before, and use remote control Spock to press the button, release them from their pain, and then they can kind of move forward with the rest of this, where they aggressively interrogate her and figure out what the big mystery is about who she is and what's going on.
Because that this is a remote control that is used so regularly
all the time,
that he knows how to do it. Not just that he knows how to get Spock to walk. He can get Spock to grab the lady, grab the controller, move one digit to press one specific button. I don't know if there are enough buttons on that controller to have that kind of dexterity. It is wild. I kind of love it.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
Amazing.
Do you know what the cramp bands are?
No.
Okay, so there's like these videos that'll pass my feed from time to time, and it's usually men that put on this sort of like cramp simulator.
Oh, to like simulate childbirth and like labor.
I'm convinced that's what these bands are.
And they were actually shocking the crew with them.
Yeah. They're just before they actually existed.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, they're around their tummies and they're just like balled over, like if you're having really bad cramps.
We will simulate labor for all of you men.
It's just kind of weird because she has the ability to make them pass out, but instead she's just like, you know what, I'm gonna have you writhe in pain. So she is torturing them. She's choosing to do pain instead of like just having you pack out.
Conveniently this time.
So that was an interesting moment. But yeah, so the bands are done and then they're able to sort of take over. And then Kirk grabs Grape Lady, gets in her fucking face and says, "You took his brain, put it back."
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. She pulls out Kirk's phaser, threatens him. But
well, this is only, no, at first they have this whole interaction where she's like, "I'm not that person."
Yeah,
and this is where the mystery was really interesting to me, because she talks about using the old knowledge to put it on the head for the teacher of all knowledge, and then they go to like the big hair dryer ball, like the pinhead looking ball, and it's like she puts that on, and it's like a taped storehouse of knowledge, is because tape, is how we would use things back then. And Kirk looks at it and he's like, "Show me how it works." And she's like, "I can't. Only by the command of the ancients," she says. And this is like the kind of lingo that I get really curious about. Like, whoa, I want to know more about that. It's a device with feeding circuits used as a predetermined by the builders, is what disembodied Spock says. And then she's forced inside of it.
Yeah.
And then the machine whirs, it's all lighting up, and then she like opens her eyes, and now she is like the fucking smartest person in the room, because she's been like pushed with this knowledge. And she takes the phaser, sets it to kill, and says, "Thank you for this knowledge that you've brought to me." And I thought that was fucking cool. What do you think?
Oh, it's really cool. Like, and it's really needed for the plot as well. So we get the teacher introduced, and
the builders, the ancients.
Yeah, that mystery is finally unraveled. The only way they can do this is with the teaching cap. And it is a badass moment, cut to break and then return. But then, Nab, I'll take that from you. She's so easily
really
disarmed.
Quickly. Yeah.
It absolutely kneecaps any like threat that there was. It retroactively kills that cool moment, because like, where was the threat if she was that easily disarmed?
Yeah, it happened so fast as well.
He didn't have to talk her around. He didn't have to do anything. The shift of power is just immediate, because he snatches the phaser away, and now he can do whatever he wants, which is what he does.
It was
like, she doesn't agree to do anything.
And here's what happens. Like, it happened so fast, and I was so distracted because she's saying, "Thank you for bringing me this knowledge of killing. Like, I don't kill. I do not." She says, "I do not know killing. I do not wish to kill." And Kirk had just said, "No one can kill a man. It cannot be condoned." And I'm like, wait a second. Doesn't he kill people all the fucking time?
You've killed so many people, Kirk.
So it seems a little bit.
You've killed 3,000 people on a scavenger ship, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he has killed many, 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 many people. And so I was so distracted by that comment. Like, wait a second, you kill people all the time.
Yeah.
And then very quickly he, takes the weapon, he demands help, and she says that the commandment must be fulfilled, another kind of indicator of this really interesting society. And then, how long does this knowledge last? 3 hours. And then she's like, she's not going to do it.
Something just popped into my brain.
Go on.
You said commandment. What if, stay with me here, what if this is actually a commentary on religion and keeping people subservient through commandments that have been passed down, and scripture and text,
and freeing people of religion?
All of the intelligence is actually inside this one document that has all of the answers that you need, and only certain people are allowed to read this document and to have the knowledge that's within inside this, let's say, societal Bible. And the ancients have all of the answers. That's where this all-knowing power came from, and it's better than us. Like, it's bigger than us.
And then there's the controller.
Because we are just stupid,
right? Yeah, because the brain is the controller,
and it's just about controlling the people. So maybe it's actually a commentary on religion, which is interesting that it could swing from over dependence on technology or an over dependence on religion and keeping the people stupid enough to be subservient.
I mean, I think that's probably more likely what they're attempting at, instead of like, we need to keep women down, because to me, Star Trek is not that. Like, Star Trek is pushing those boundaries.
No, I completely agree, but there's always a chance that one rogue writer maybe slips through their own personal
like, there's a couple of uncomfortable things, but that still happens in modern storytelling too, where it's like, that kind of hit me a little bit different, but I would more believe that this is a religious, like a religious sort of attack, and it has that kind of all over it in a way,
Yeah.
you know,
It
even
has a
just
lot
the
of that
idea,
language.
yeah. And she's like, I am not going to betray what I believe, even though she is surrounded by people that are demanding her,
Yeah.
and they even like they push her into these moments. There's just like a lot of fear. Like their motivation is to save Spock, but they're pushing the boundaries of this like society, and they break it, and that's not really talked about. Just like Star Trek that
No,
we
not
watched
at all.
with like Janeway and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
we don't talk about Tuvix anymore. Like
Nope.
you don't talk about that. You just kind of move on. Like we don't talk about what happened to the society afterwards. Like, you just kind of like ask a really deep question, you move on, or you ask a silly question, you move on. So
No, that's a new angle I hadn't thought of, actually, that connotation with religion. That's really, really interesting. I'd love to know.
yeah, I would too.
I'd love to know what the actual logic was.
And this is when, so Kirk now, they're in a situation where she doesn't want to put the knowledge hat on. She doesn't want to put that on. And so McCoy is like, you know what? I'm going to do it, even though it's risky. You know, the doctor could be lost, but Spock is going to be lost no matter what. So why not just roll for two? And, they go in there and they're going to try to retain. He's like, what if I retain this information? Like, what if this helps in some way? And so he kind of like just decides to go in there, and Grape tries to stop him, but the doctor goes into the hair dryer, the machine whirs, and he like knows Kung Fu. And he says, of course, a child could do it. A child could do it. And so now he knows. And then we go to brain surgery.
Well, his logic is that he already has a baseline of surgical knowledge.
Right.
So it's not going to be a huge leap to build on that. Whereas if Scotty or Kirk tried to do it, they would have to be learning from scratch, and it would be too much. So that's the little wiggle room that the episode needs to get through. But this is where it's super duper nonsense, and he reactivates his vocal cords so that he can help. You need more than vocal cords to help put your own brain back into your head. Guess what? You need your brain. You need the reasoning. You need the logic. You need the knowledge of Vulcan anatomy. I don't know how and why Spock is helpful in this situation, or why it works.
I mean, it's just fun, right? Like, let's have Spock help with his own brain surgery.
I mean, it's a fun sentence to say, but I think it ends up taking away from the episode overall.
I do too. I don't think that they needed the twist. I think that it could have stood on McCoy completing the surgery quickly, and then losing the knowledge and feeling really like bummed about that, like going into a deep dark depression that Spock helps him out of, or something fun. But that's not. This is gonna. It tries to end on like a little comedy beat, and I don't know that I really like that, but it is what it is.
That is a classic TOS thing. We've got to end with a laugh and then cut to credits, usually at Spock's expense as well. But yeah, it's very, very flippant. Like, you've just agreed to dismantle this society and then maybe help them. This is where the Cerritos comes along and does second contact.
Yes.
And does the follow-up mission that helps them, like, right, Kirk fucked something. Let's try and deal with the practicalities of what happens next. Like, that would be a great TV show, is that each week the follow-up episode is a different TV show of another ship picking up the pieces from the previous episode.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
This is also when Kirk is talking to her about like the future. He's saying, you'll be without controller for the first time. You'll live and you'll develop as you should have. Women below, men above, controlling together. And she's like, well, we'll die above in the cold. And he's like, you'll learn how to build and keep warm and help. It will help for a while. Humans,
the menfolk will help you.
Humans can do it. So then it's kind of like, hey, Kirk, come over here, because the doctor was starting to panic and forget. And this whole part, I don't feel like it needed. Like, I don't feel like it needed this is when it went overlay after overlay after overlay after overlay. And I was just like, oh my God, it's the next level of the WTF, the reconnecting of the vocal cords and all that stuff. It was just like, whoa, we don't need the sonic separator and the tri-laser connector to seal. Like, we don't need that stuff, right?
You were already pretty far gone episode, and now you're just taking the biscuit.
Yeah.
Well, Ambassador.
But thankfully he got the fluid balance, so we're good.
I mean, he knew that for certain. Well, Ambassador, any final thoughts before we do some pips?
No, I think this was a pretty interesting TOS. I love that we're dipping it. I think
you loved it.
I don't know that I loved it. I loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I loved it.
But you had a blast of it.
I did.
This has been I said at the top of the episode, this is the episode I was most worried about. And other than Genesis, I feel like it's the one you've had the most fun with. And it's given me a new appreciation for it. It's been years since I've seen it. My expectations were rock bottom, super duper low. But I had so much fun with it. And it ended up being a really good discussion, not about Spock's brain, but about the society that they met. And while there is some sketchy writing and there is some nonsense, terrible science in it, there's a great premise underneath it all. And I don't know. I have a new appreciation for Spock's brain. If you can put to bed the ridiculousness of reattaching his brain, the fact that it's stolen in the first place, Jim, his brain is gone. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun with the episode. There's some like good gadgets, like the deduction and getting to the planet is fun. The crew working together is fun. There's lots to like about the episode. So I am now more confused than I ever have been about Spock's brain, and I hope it's one that we actually revisit in like 5 years.
Oh my gosh!
Just see how we feel about it. So overall, Pips Ambassador.
This is what I want to say too. Like this is one where if we were going to try to do like a quick like shuttle rewrite kind of a thing, like where we're just like a quick episode, escape like how pod. A little escape pod. That's what we're thinking about doing, a little extra side mini podcast called Escape Pod, where we kind of do like a little quick rewrite. This is prime material.
Yes, rewrite this entire episode.
This is a hard one because I'm gauging it on too many different variables.
Yes.
I was so excited to talk about it on the show. And I had moments where I was like, this is so fun because it's so stupid. But this is such a bad episode in so many ways as well. So I don't really know like where to grade it. Was it fun to talk about? Absolutely. It's really interesting to talk about. But that's kind of like every episode with Star Trek with you and the fans. Like it's just, that's the fun part of that too. It's not just like watching something and then being like, okay, I watched that. I don't know that I would watch this episode to like just have a good time.
No, because it's hard to know like with judging a good episode of Star Trek or just an episode that made you feel good.
I would rewatch the end and try to write verbatim what Spock was saying about the society and learn a little more. Number one, that's the
build on that.
Number two, I would watch this to take notes on how to recreate Spock's robo outfit for Halloween, because it would be how fucking funny would that be?
So specific.
Just you're in a jumpsuit and you have this little thing on your head. I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole time.
3D printable.
Yes, Halloween was yesterday at the time of the recording of this episode.
We're ready.
But still, like that's a great cosplay cost. Yes. That's just so silly. Like it's a jumpsuit with like a little thing on the head. I'm already thinking like, how do you 3D print that? Like I'm just, is this an episode of Star Trek that like, how do I rank it? That's a really, really hard question. I think I'm going to go maybe like 1.5 pips because it just doesn't have a lot for me to go back to. And so I think it's like one of my lower ranking episodes, but it oddly had fun. So I feel like I should be giving it more.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I'm actually going to give it 2 pips. The science element and the fact that it ends up saying very little is what really knocks it down. And some of the writing genuinely is terrible. So one of Scotty's lines that I forgot to mention is, there's equipment and food in there and a bunch of other stuff. And that is one of the most un-Star Trek lines I've ever heard uttered from any character, let alone Scotty. A bunch of other stuff. That is not helpful, Lieutenant Commander. That is not becoming of an engineer. Like, give me some specifics or say nothing. Don't, in the words of Ryan Reynolds, I'm going to do that again. In the words of Ryan Gosling, don't say and stuff. It makes you look stupid. Yeah, it feels like bad writing. So yeah, it's hard, but I've had more fun watching this, and maybe it's because it's with you. I let myself go to the ridiculousness of it, and it's a different brand. It's a different brand of sci-fi. It's not quote unquote proper Star Trek, but
it is proper Star Trek. You can't say it's not proper Star Trek.
It is not proper Star Trek. It is an episode of Star Trek, but it is not typically what Star Trek does for a good chunk of the episode. But that's a whole other debate. So yeah, 2 pips. That's what I'm going to stick with. I can't believe we covered Spock's brain, Ambassador.
I can't either, but we've done it.
We did it. The most notorious episode of Star Trek, the original series. Well, let's head over to, where would you like to go to do a couple of messages?
Oh, let's go to the controller room, please.
2 to beam out. Okay, hailing frequencies open, everyone. It's time for us to read your messages from Discord, Twitch,
Twitter, Twitch,
Blue Sky,
Blue Sky,
and well, email.
I'm going to read another one this week. You can continue to send them to Ian at iananddanae.com, but I'm reading them. And this one comes from someone, I'm not sure who.
Link.
Hey, Ian, question for Captain's Pod. If you could switch the captains of any 2 ships from different shows, which ones would you want to switch, and how do you think it would impact the show? The example is like if you were to switch Picard and Janeway, how do you think Picard would be dealt with going to the Delta Quadrant, or do you think Janeway would get turned into a board like Picard?
This is a great question. This is a really, really great question because each series of Star Trek does something different, with the exception of Strange New Worlds. Each one is different. Janeway has the mission of getting home and is like stranded on a desert island. Picard is exploring the galaxy. Sisko is stuck on a space station being the leader of bring the profit to an entire civilization and fighting a war. Okay, TOS is probably the same as well because he's doing adventures, but TOS was the first to do anything. So I think my answer is I want to see Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine on the Enterprise in TNG. I want to see him be the captain of the Enterprise
like an adventure.
D. An adventure. I want to see him on adventures, like doing the Brave New Worlds, the Strange New World stuff. I want to see him in charge of a starship,
like an
active role, not burdened by war and being a prophet, exploring the galaxy and doing what Starfleet does. Like, I would love to see Avery Brooks, Captain Sisko, doing that. I want to see that side of his personality so much, because in Deep Space Nine, he is so mired by shit and darkness. And while there are incredible episodes throughout Deep Space Nine, the lighthearted joy of TNG is something that I would love to see Sisko into.
I know this question is, this is aimed at both of us.
Absolutely.
Can I fill who is going to be on Deep Space Nine?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's the guy. It's that one guy that I liked a lot. Sassy pants. Super in charge. Picard.
Picard?
No.
Did you forget Picard's name?
No, it's in the show Picard.
Oh,
the serious guy. He's like, the guy's like, no, that's not what we're doing right now. But brain. He's like sassy.
Where's he gone?
I think it starts with an S.
Shaw.
Yes. That's it. Yeah.
Captain
okay.
Shaw.
So put Shaw on Deep Space Nine.
He would have ended that war immediately.
That would be so fun.
He would have tortured prisoners. He would have murdered people. He would have been me. Get off my ship.
Do you think he'd be murdering people? I think he was like he was really by the books. He was a by the books guy. So I think it would be interesting to watch that character be so by the books, and because everybody on his ship was pretty militant.
And he was just an engineer. Like, he was an engineer that made his way to being captain.
So I think it'd be really interesting. I don't know. I like Shaw a lot, and
I think we just want to see more of Shaw. I think that's the Shaw.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to, like, you took someone off of Deep Space. I'm gonna fill the spot. So who's the next person you're gonna take off? And
who's on the Titan A/ Enterprise
that Picard
G?
would be meeting? Yeah. What if he ran into
just
Janeway?
Captains? I mean, if it's just captains.
Yeah, just captains.
Yeah, I think Janeway's a good option, because then I get to see Janeway doing proper exploration as well, instead of just trying to get home.
And Janeway, whenever Picard shows up asking for help, would be like, fuck yeah, let's go. And she wouldn't have been like, I'm sorry, that's against the rules.
Oh, she would have immediately helped.
Yeah, so it'd been really interesting.
That's really interesting.
So then I had to do Janeway.
Who's doing Voyager then? Who's on Voyager? I mean, really, you've got what you're talking about here is who's going to be the captain that gets them home from the Delta Quadrant.
Right, of course.
And how would that be interesting?
Sulu.
He's not a captain.
He is, you crazy man.
He is in the movies, but he's not a captain. He's not leading a TV show, which I think, oh no, because we use Shaw. No, Shaw is a captain. Okay, you can have Sulu. You think Sulu will be a good option to get
I would
Voyager
love
home?
to see Sulu.
What's interesting is that he and Tuvok have worked together. Tuvok was an ensign on Sulu's command of the Excelsior.
I think that that's a character that I see so little of that I would really like to see like what they would do with that character.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Completely agree. Yeah.
So like give him a show like that, you know.
Star Trek Excelsior would be George Takei. Come on. It'd be so good. It's interesting because in the Khan audio thing that I'm listening to, Tuvok and Captain Sulu are in it.
Oh,
Which is and Sulu has some opinions. And
of course.
Great. So, I mean, I would pick Pike because I think Pike's dogged determination would get that ship home, but with fewer genocides.
I just feel like Sulu would be very motivated because he's been under a captain that's been like a little bit here and there and everywhere. Yeah. And so his motivation to be like, let's do it this way. Fair. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Not that he's judging Kirk, but you know, he's been taking orders and then he gets his own ship and now he's like shunted out in the Delta Quadrant. So it's like, well, I'm going to take a little bit of what I saw Kirk do, and then I'm going to take my own approach to it and get us home. So I think that'd be kind of fun.
That'd be really fun. I agree. What's interesting is that Sulu, of all of the characters you could have picked, Sulu does appear in Voyager.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he appears in Voyager. Janeway has a conversation with Sulu. I mean, it's through a mind meld, but it still happens. It's really cool. Really, really cool.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, great question, Link. It was such a great question. That we've actually run out of time for any more questions, but
those are fun.
Yeah,
you can send in your questions to us on Discord, on Blue Sky, or on email. You can also send pigeon, and I'm gonna drop this now because we're making this happen.
Oh no,
we are working on a PO box, so
yes, we are.
You will be able to actually mail your questions if you want to.
Handwritten letters would be much appreciated. We love that. We will frame them, probably. Well, Ambassador, the votes are in. They have been counted. The table has shifted slightly.
Oh, okay.
The next episode has not shifted. It has been consistent for the last few weeks. So next week's episode is going to be TOS again. We're staying in TOS. Season 1 episode 15 or 16, depending on the numbers. But it's Shore Leave.
Shore Leave.
It's called Shore Leave.
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm really excited for this episode. This absolutely lands firmly in What the Fuck. I'm really excited for this. You can go to the Ian and Danae Patreon, which is patreon.com/c/Ian and Danae, or the link is in the description, and see where the list is at the minute. So as it stands, the next episode is definitely going to be Shore Leave. The episode after that will be DS9's Move Along Home.
Unless it's outvoted.
Unless it's outvoted. The episode after that, this is what's changed. It was going to be TOS, A Piece of the Action. Currently, Voyager's Tinker Tailor Dr. Spy has just overtaken A Piece of the Action, which is super duper fun. So you can still affect the final 2 episodes that we're going to cover. It currently stands as Move Along Home and Tinker Tailor Dr. Spy, but there's still time to vote for A Fistful of Datas, A Piece of the Action, The Royale, Phantasm, Starship Mine Disaster, and Deja Q, if you would prefer any of those to round out the season. So yeah, I think we said all of the places that you can come and meet us. And if you want to see the live show, go to youtube.com/@Ian and Danae or twitch.tv/Danae Says. And we love you incredibly much. Thank you for picking Spock's Brain. What an episode. So glad we finally did it. Until next week. Jim, his brain is gone from me.
And I should have never reconnected his mouth from me.
Live long and prosper. We did it. We did it.
What a crazy episode of Star Trek.
What a crazy episode.
What the fuck?
We've literally done Spock's Brain. I mean, it's crazy. The fact that we've done Threshold, Spock's Brain, and Tuvix in one season is bonkers. It's so fun. It's so good. This is the joy of not going episode by episode,
thanks, guys.
chronologically
yeah,
through,
no.
is that we get to do these season analyses back to back.
You were controlling Clockwork Inn off camera the whole time. Thank you so much. Thank you for noticing that.
Absolutely confirmed. Tick, tick, tick.
Well,
tick,
you know,
tick.
when we were talking about like Captain's Pod started and it was so like just about Picard. And then it was like, well, when we're waiting, like, should we do something else? And then it's just always been this kind of experiment in what each season will be like. So we've tried to do, you know, obviously like different themes and things like that. And it's just so fun because there's so much Star Trek. So it fits into so many different kinds of themes.
It really does.
And every time there's just this natural sort of progression of like what we're going to do next. And this is a really fun season because we're getting to see some really interesting stuff. And it's not our version. It's not just you and WTF.
No,
it's you guys in WTF, which is really, really
so
fun.
much because
and Rascals,
everyone's version of WTF is interesting, and I love that there's no judgment here.
No,
I had 3 messages from people specifically saying that they really enjoy Spock's brain, and that was my happiest surprise. Is their defense of Spock's brain and why they enjoy it and why it shouldn't be as derided. The community hates Spock's brain, like it is. Even my dad doesn't want to watch Spock's brain because he's like, well, it's just stupid. Like it's one of the few episodes that he just calls completely stupid. And I love that.
I agree.
I got to talk to people that love Spock's brain, including the person sitting opposite me.
I don't mind being surprised. It's fun to give in to stupidity sometimes. And this was definitely one of them.
Amazing.
Let's see. I need
to go to the bathroom.
A minute for History Lover said, I want to say I love this episode. Oh, it's bad, but it's my kind of bad. I find it hilarious. I quote brain. What is brain? Probably a little bit too much. That was a really fun quote. Brain. What is brain? Oh, Grape Lady. Did Ian dress up as an American? I answered that question earlier with a picture. He was Ash. I know we did that, but yeah, I was Evie and Iris was Pikachu. Ian was Ash. Justin was Clark Kent. So he had like an office shirt on, a Superman shirt underneath, and then some glasses. It was really funny. So what other things did you guys quickly say? I think that pretty much covers it. I'm trying to do a lot of your stuff during the show. My favorite Pokemon. So Iris is watching this where there's like legendary Pokemon and one of them is a turtle. It's the show that has Sprigatito. And I have to can I tell you guys something really stupid? So I'm not like a Pokemon person. I'm kind of exposed to Pokemon through Iris and Ian, who are both Pokemon people. And Sprigatito evolved recently. And I was really sad. That's silly. It's like, oh no, Sprigatito isn't this cute little Pokemon anymore. Sprigatito has evolved into this, like, I don't know, middle schooler or something. And then I realized it's some sort of like sickness that I have. Like my daughter is growing up and I don't want her to grow up. I want her to stay little or whatever. Like I was like, am I not wanting my own child to grow up because they're so small and cute? It was pretty silly.
Like this hit you more than I thought because back to back
to back, really sad.
We showed you Fuecoco evolving, who's this adorable little Pokemon.
Fuecoco was so cute, now ugly as fuck.
We showed you Sprigatito evolving.
So sad. I was so sad.
2 characters that you love, and I was like, "Yep, they're gone now."
But my favorite Pokemon is that little turtle. Although Pokemon make the most annoying noises I've ever heard. It's like, it's just like, but I do love mimicking Pokemon noises. I love mimicking sounds, which sometimes comes across like I'm mocking and I'm not. I just love to mimic sounds.
Yeah.
And like I'll mimic weird things like the hum of the vacuum. I try to like match pitch with that stuff. And Pokemon make insane noises. And I realized I would be an amazing voice actor for Pokemon because I like really get into it.
I don't think it's
Terrapagos.
Terrapagos is the evolved
that's
version,
it.
I think.
Yeah. It's so cute. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah, it's Terrapagos. Yeah.
Your point about treating this like a B science movie helped me like this episode more, but I'm not upping my pips. That's totally fine, bro.
Totally fair.
You don't have to.
You do not need to.
But it is. Have you ever seen like the Kroll? Have you ever seen Kroll? There's some. I kind of want to cover stupid sci-fi movies, but there's a I think there's a podcast that's going through like every single sci-fi movie ever, and that's got to be really interesting. Kroll is one of those that I watched with my dad, and it was so bad. Like, but it also gave me like a scary complex because that's how you spell it. Yep. There's this character that I think like when they go evil or something, their eyes turn completely black. Like there's no white at all either. And it scared the shit out of me when I was little because there's like this part in sort of like a swamp of sadness moment where one of the people is like taken over and has like the black eyes, and it's just cuckoo. It's a great one. That one, Legend, with Tom Cruise, before I even knew who Tom Cruise was, but Tim Curry is the devil in that one. That's like an interesting fantasy sort of genre, like B film. So anyway, I grew up watching those. Yeah, Last Starfighter. Yeah. So yeah, this one kind of hit that for me. There was a couple moments I'm like, oh, this is fucking stupid. And I'm here for it.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Okay, we've got to run. We want to hang out with you. Things. Sorry again for not being able to record yesterday, which means like not a lot of Minecraft, but I hope you guys are enjoying the server while we haven't been able to be as active. If you're a founding Tieflinger, you can join our Minecraft server for free. You just need to go onto our Patreon and fill out the form so that we know that you're going to abide by our little rules that we have, so everybody can kind of play a similar vibe game. It's really like chill. We've had a very, very, very busy couple of weeks, so we haven't been able to be as active on there ourselves, but it's there for you guys. Thank you for your support on Patreon. We still have like so many great ideas that are coming down the pipe, but we're just going to keep it a simple $3 tier for now. Make it an easy thing. Yeah. You can have our podcast ad-free there if you guys would like. And yeah, I don't think we've got any other major things to talk about. Let's just really quickly look at the calendar. I think we're on for a regular show next week.
Yep, regular show next week. And
so we should be on for Friday evening again.
In 2 weeks, we'll announce what the next season of Captain's Pod will look like, which will be the season that carries us into, I think, a brief holiday break that's like 1 or 2 weeks, and then straight into Starfleet Academy.
We may be doing a little bit of a shifterito for next week's episode. We might have to do it earlier.
Oh no!
Or we'll have to shift it to a Saturday. Please hang out with us on Discord for more information.
TBC. Yeah, TBC.
It's difficult sometimes to make it all match up, and we're heading into the holidays, so you're definitely going to want to just watch for announcements on things shifting around as we get closer to that. But we're going to try to keep it all as easily accessible as we can for you, because we really appreciate you guys a lot. So but for right now, I think we're going to head off because we got some stuff to do.
Yeah, we do.
Tonight, life be busy, but we appreciate your time with you. Thank you for watching this now or later, especially for those of you that are watching it later all the way to the end. Wow. Yeah. Hi. Some of you we've never even talked to before.
You made it.
Thank you for watching our shit. And we'll see you later. Live long and prosper.
Bye, everybody.